I wanted to kind of voice my concerns, my fears, the problems I think that we might run into with the PlayStation 6, even though it's not even officially revealed yet. But
There will be no problems because you know why? Because Sony does not care. What do you people don't understand? You think PlayStation cares if you can't afford the PlayStation 6 as long as you still continue to give them money to play on the PlayStation 5? Well, guess what? Ain't none of these companies care if you upgrade. You got all these Nintendo fanboys complaining about Nintendo. Please drop the price. And you're still buying the same games on Nintendo Switch 1. Why do you think Nintendo would care? And this is why I told you that the hardware doesn't matter. It's the ecosystem. That is what is important to these companies. What do y'all don't get? Y'all like, damn, Games, I see what you're saying. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be another cross-generation. You're going to get Intergalactic, probably a PS5 game at 60 FPS on there, still at a dynamic resolution, still not going to be able to hit 4K resolution natively. Like, what are you doing? How do y'all not see the writing on the wall, man? Your consoles ain't no different than a cellular phone.
let me break down the goods and the bads and why I feel like this next generation needs to be done perfect. Let's get into it.
Why would it need to be done perfect? Because at the end of the day, Sony's just sitting there at their desk, and guess what? Still making more money than they've ever had. There's no desire to have to put out anything. What do you people don't get? You guys are still holding on to the prehistoric dinosaur era, and like I said, that was the land before time. Okay, little Brontosaurus, it's about time you grow up. Okay. You know, your neck is finally long enough to eat them, them leaves from that tree branch. And you still out here talking about the land before time. Bro, nobody cares, bro, because at the end of the day, the vast majority of gamers that are playing are casual, Roblox, I swear I can't, I'm tired of going through the same list of games, but you know what I'm saying. This is what people are playing. So at the end of the day, even if you can't afford a PlayStation 6, as long as you're giving Sony money to play PlayStation 5 even, we'll even go as far with PS4, well, guess what? Sony don't care.
Hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like. I did feel like Microsoft and Sony were just absolutely killing it. Tons of exclusives, big AAA stuff, weird games.
Because guess what? As much as I love the PlayStation 3 and 360, what do you think happened to a lot of the franchises that you once seen on this Oh, that's right. They don't exist no more. So that shows you that the vast majority of gamers do not care about those intellectual properties. At the end of the day, they were still playing Call of Duty. Nothing has changed, guys. I find it so funny how everybody be like, oh, gaming was such a different time frame. But no, it wasn't. They were still playing Call of Duty. They were still playing we just have more of it now. That's it. Because I remember Call of Duty was one of the bigger heavy sellers on these platforms. And now we got free-to-plays, Fortnite, Roblox. We got all these other free-to-play arrangements. And that's why I'm telling you, that right there on top of the third party is what single-handedly killed gaming for these dinosaurs.
It not only look different and play different, it really felt like these were two very separate evolutions of the idea of gaming. And now things have gotten as safe, as easy, and as
And it will continue to be as safe and as easy because you know why? Companies are no longer losing money, and I can guarantee that's the reason as to why Perfect Dark got canceled. Let's be honest, man. As much as I wanted to see the game, let's keep it 100. Ain't nobody was gonna play that game. You know what I mean? You old school gamers gotta stop lying to yourself. Oh yeah, people want to play. Bro, they ain't even playing Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. I had to get a refund with how broken that game was online, bro. The input lag and everything, bro. They can't even bring classics back to the nostalgic fans, and they still mess it up. It's absolutely embarrassing. Like it makes you not even want to buy games, man. If you've been gaming for as long as you people have been gaming, you will realize that gaming is getting a lot worse.
Platform as possible, which brings me to the first thing. I want the PlayStation 6 to be more than just graphics.
Well, that's all it's going to ever be.
People inside of Sony themselves actually feel that way as well. This is the ex-head of PlayStation.
Keyword, former. Bro, I'm sick and tired of hearing all these former. Bro, PlayStation was at a different time back then. I'm sorry, as much as I respect Yoshida, at the end of the day, this serves nothing valid. Because you know why? He didn't have to deal with the juggernauts of Fortnite and Call of Duty, did he? He didn't have to deal with that. Matter of fact, he had an easy way to victory because the vast majority of his exclusive games weren't even really exclusive. They were just third party titles locked to the PlayStation platform. You know, you're like, damn man, come on, GameStop, how you gonna do your shit? I'm just saying. Like, you guys cannot hate me for being honest, but it's true.
Hey Yoshida, and he's been doing sort of a talking tour about the idea of what next gen from Sony should be. Now, he has been clear he did not sit in on any PlayStation 6 meetings. He said officially he left the company before all the big PlayStation 6 meetings happened, but I like the fact that he said you can't have the same thing they've been doing years.
Oh, yes, you can. Because guess what? What do you think people are doing? They're playing the same games. Well, there you go. You sure about that? Because then explain why Roblox, explain why Fortnite, explain why Apex Legends, explain as to why Call of Duty 6. Oh, that's right, because they keep bringing out the same game. Oh, that's funny. So there you go. Yoshida is outdated. As much as I respect him as a person that used to work at PlayStation, at the end of the day, that's not what brings in the money nowadays. A lot of people would say Astrobot was a very unique experience from a platformer point of view. And guess what? Nobody bought it. Nobody really cared to buy it. And the only saving grace of that game was the fact that it had a low budget. But if it was a AAA title, the game would have failed. See, this is what you guys don't understand. You got companies out here pushing new hardware, but yet, why would a company want to push better and bigger and better games if people are not buying them? That's why Sony started focusing on AA titles. So if the games don't sell within the 3 to 4 to 5 millions, well, guess what? They still made their money and they can still maximize on as much profit.
Now, I'm in a mindset of two separate spots, which is that I don't really like gaming gimmicks. I don't like crazy peripherals. I do think that, honestly, the PlayStation VR 2, I do think that was just kind of a failure because it was too big of a pivot. It was too expensive. It was too inaccessible. But I do think that, honestly, I don't want the PlayStation 6 showcase, the big demos, the reveals. I don't want it to just be, hey, it's even more HD, right? I do truly believe we are hitting the diminishing returns. The graphical leap from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 really wasn't that significant. I mean, I play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds
I
of
agree. Matter of fact, I mean, we're going as far to even play remakes. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I feel some of the vast majority of these games could have been played on the PS4 if it wasn't for some optimization. I mean, guys, it's been pretty embarrassing. Okay, and like I've said before, bro, we didn't have to deal with this, bro. Ain't nobody picked up a 64 and said, I want to play my Super Mario World again with better textures. Nobody said that. We moved on to Mario 64, and then Mario Sunshine, and then Galaxy. We started moving on to different projects, but have you guys noticed, you guys got new hardware, but playing the same old games. It's embarrassing. We barely get anything new nowadays. And if we do, we got to wait 5 to 7 years just to get disappointed. And then the game was like, wow, why did I even spend $70 on a game, waited 6 years for it? I mean, it makes a brother want to just quit gaming. It makes a brother just say, you know what, I'm tired of this. If you can't beat them, join them. And that's what the vast majority of gamers are doing. It is what it is.
PlayStation 4 games, hundreds of PlayStation 5 games. And I got to say that, yeah, they're more HD, sometimes background assets.
How are they more HD? Games ain't even hitting 1080p. What do you mean by more HD? Games have been hitting resolutions lower than the Xbox 360. Dying like the Beast 600p. What are you talking about? Games are actually running at a lower resolution now than they've ever done on the PS3 and PS4. What do you're like, damn, games, you're right. I mean, when Rise, Sun, and Rome came out, I was like, what, 720p? But it's still a very good looking game. I would love to see that game be updated in 4K and all that. And I know they could do it. But it's like, games was hitting a higher resolution. You know? Now you people are barely getting it.
Look better. The lack of load times has been a big advancement. But I feel like I do want something that feels different, that looks different, that's beyond just, hey, it's more 4K. Oh, now it's 8K.
The games haven't even been hitting 4K. The vast majority of games have been dynamic resolution. We ain't got a native 4K game in years.
I do think part of the problem is the fact that, honestly, Sony, they're trying to sell you TVs. They're trying to sell you phones. They're trying to sell you headphones, right? So I'm almost afraid about the fact that they're going to push 8K like it's some crazy revolutionary.
Well, they pushed 8K for PlayStation 5, and look what happened. They decided to remove it off the box because of false advertisement. Even if they decide to push 8K again, we all know it's not gonna be an 8K machine. So I don't even see the point of why people would even buy into that notion. But hey,
Jump to next gen, when honestly the difference between 8K and freaking 4K, it's so freaking infinitesimal. It is so teeny tiny. Most people's eyes.
no, it's not. No, it's not. The only reason why you say that because there's not a lot of things that are let's get to this. There's not a lot of things even running at 8K yet. First off. So how can you sit there and say that is double the bro, what do you mean? So in that case, then why you guys complain about 720p? Oh, there's no difference between 720p and 4K? Really? Bro, that's like triple the resolution. 8K is like double what 4K. What are you talking about? Just because we don't have things that are optimized in it doesn't necessarily mean you can't see the difference. The only reason why you can't see the difference because nothing supports it. You big dummy.
Are not even sharper than that. I want something that kind of shows next gen being better than just shining.
And
I want it to actually look different, play different, even less load times, even bigger worlds, even built-in infrastructure that allows crazier crowd density.
They're not going to do that because that's going to eat up at the budget, and there's not enough of you fanboys that are going to buy the game. What do you dinosaurs don't understand? Gaming doesn't care about you no more. That's why I've told people, go retro. Go to where you're comfortable with, because at the end of the day, even if you were next generation, retro's still coming to you some way. They still dropping retro games on your platforms. What do you like? I mean, at this point, you guys ain't nothing but retro gamers on next generation hardware.
Cooler tracks or something, right? Something that makes it feel better than just, hey, it's HD, right?
But well, they won't. I'm just sitting there telling you now they won't, because at the end of the day, that's not what's bringing in the money. So, sorry.
Brings me to the next one here, right? No first party. This is tons and tons of PlayStation exclusives. Every generation. PS1 had hundreds of exclusives. PS2...
That was because of third party.
Had thousands of exclusive games.
That was because of third party.
PS3, tons and tons and tons of them. It was very hard to make PlayStation 3 games, famously so. It had this thing called asymmetrical architecture, and even then, basically Sony was going there, hands and knees, money busted out of their pockets, and trying to get people to make exclusives that not just were on the PS3, but
was any of this profitable towards Sony? So you guys keep saying that Sony's lazy, and there's a reason for that. Because every time they decided to put money on something, they lost money. So, of course, they're going to be like, okay, well, let Microsoft do their thing. Milk as much money off our consumers. We're getting the 30%. We're getting the monthly memberships off PlayStation Plus. At the end of the day, they're lazy now. They can afford to be lazy. That's just the sad reality of gaming. And I know that can hurt for some people, but that's where the money's at. And that's what, I mean, think about it, guys. They make more money just for you to toggle, just to play a game online. Think about what I'm saying. Just to play a video game online. They make more money doing that, just to hit a toggle option in your multiplayer gaming screen, than if they put a budget of a game, 500 mil, then try to sell it for $60 to $70 and see how many gamers buy it. Think about what I'm saying, bro. You guys are still stuck in the Stone Age, still trying to find ways to create fire out of these rocks. And I'm telling you, bro, put them down.
Looked good, ran good, looked special on the PS3.
Special.
And the PS5 has had the least amount of first-party exclusives ever. Like, straight up. And there are some leaks and rumors saying that apparently 7 first-party studios are working on PS5 exclusives that will not be on the PS5. With Sony
That's not true. Because from what I'm hearing, they're going to be cross-generation. Intergalactic's going to be cross-generation. I don't know. Like I said, not all these sources are true. Maybe it might be a few like indie, smaller projects or whatever. But when it comes to those big ones, oh no, they're dropping on PlayStation 6. Oh, don't get it twisted. Intergalactic, Marvel Wolverine, they're all going to come to when they're making these games for PlayStation 5, they're making them to run better on the PlayStation 6. That's the idea. So all the games that you're buying now on PS5 are just going to be launch games for your PlayStation 6 when it comes out. No different than Gears E-Day. It's going to be a launch game for the Series X, and then they're going to have an enhanced version on the new Xbox PC. Bro, this is what you guys are paying for. You're like, damn, game, so that's kind of true, though. That's all they're preparing you for. You guys have literally, this has by far one of the worst generations of gaming that I have ever experienced. It's so terrible. And I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you say. And I'm not saying that these things weren't important. I used to love gaming. Bro, gaming was better when it wasn't popular. Now that gaming is mainstream, it's gotten worse. It's crazy, but it's true.
On PS4's first few years, trying to be closer to what they were trying to do with the 2016 to 2020 run of the PlayStation 4.
And you're not going to be able to do that because keyword PS4 started this in the 2016. What run are you going to be able to do? You got Fortnite, Roblox, all these third party, all these free to plays. Remember, and like I've told people before, they keep saying, well, the PS4 sold exclusives. But guess what? Fortnite did not exist. Oh! These free to plays did not exist, though. PUBG was getting its momentum. What do y'all don't understand? Once those games came in, people said, you know what? And like I said, it was already bad with third party. It was already bad. Third party has always been at the top. But then when free to plays came in, it single-handedly destroyed exclusives. It's single-handed because now it's just too many. It was bad enough for third party. Some exclusives was getting some success, mostly due just to the third party. But then once those free to plays came in, it was done. It was done.
This to me is incredibly, incredibly crucial. I think that a lot of the problem right now with gaming is these super long dev times that we can't figure out how to reduce. It just seems like all these companies are always trying to sit there staring at the drawing board and saying, we don't know how to make a good game that takes less than 5 years to make.
It doesn't matter. Because even if the game is good, you still need people to buy it. What do you people don't understand? What you think is good is subjective. Because at the end of the day, the vast majority of gamers that are playing don't care about it. How hard is it for you people to understand this?
I have no idea how to sit down, sketch something out, and make it. And I almost feel like lower budget AA games, or maybe more stuff inside the system itself, better dev tools and stuff. It just feels like it takes so freaking long to make every game. And with generations only being about 6 or 7 years long, 5 years of dev time essentially means, hey, here's your entire game, one game per generation. I've also seen people sort of talking about this. This is Cloudbrail, a big likely years from release. Now, there have been more and more leaks that essentially this thing is probably going to come out about 6 months to a year after the PlayStation 6, the PlayStation 6 Portable. There's talks that it will be dockable. It will essentially be a PlayStation 5 that natively plays on the go, not streaming the way the PlayStation Portal does. And I have to admit that my concern is not that it will be bad. My concern is that it won't get enough support the way a lot of tiny spin-off projects that Sony's worked on.
It won't, because at the end of the day, you can get far better with an Xbox handheld or any handheld for that, PC handheld, if that's what you want to call it, because it's not restrictive, which also means that you're going to have less games. I think it would probably sell 3, 4, 5, maybe million, depending on how many fanboys are out there, but it's just not going to sell well. You're going to get Steam Deck numbers with this thing. I hate to say it, bro. Like, you guys got to get out of the past, man. Oh, it's going to be the next best thing since PSP. It's not, bro. Those days is over, man. What are y'all doing?
Past. My other concern is how easy it is to use. I'll be honest, I have seen so many people absolutely struggling to get the Xbox handheld to work at all. This thing, the ROG Ally X, now you could say, oh, that's not technically an Xbox thing, but let's face it, handhelds, the more customizable they are, sometimes the harder they are. I do think that it's crazy how bad this is. I really hope that it is as streamlined, as simple, as fun, and as good as battery life as absolutely possible, right?
It won't, because battery life technology hasn't advanced. So this is what I'm saying, man. What do you guys don't get, man? Portable gaming was always for smaller projects. Portable gaming was never supposed to be what the Switch and Switch Up was supposed to be. What I mean by Switch Up, I mean other handhelds above the Switch. It was never, handhelds were never intended to play these AAA games like you people wanted. The battery life technology just hasn't advanced that much. Okay? It is what it is, man. Like I said, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Exclusives? I could probably count them on one hand, and that's psycho to me, right? Like, here's actually a tweet from last year, December 2024, about that the next gen console, the next Xbox, is going to be $1,200. And apparently, they're trying to find a way to get the PlayStation 6 to be $600. This to me, like, even $600 feels like a lot, but I paid $500 for my PS5 at launch. I'm fine paying $600 for a console. My fear is the fact that, honestly, just how expensive everything is, I do truly believe the first console next gen that meant just to get itself to around $300 is going to win the entire console race. Beyond graphics, beyond bells and whistles, beyond exclusive.
No, it won't, because it gives nobody a reason to buy it. People don't buy consoles for the games. People buy it for the better graphics and resolution. And I love when people say, I love it, because this is the argument. I don't buy it for graphics. I don't buy it. Then why are you playing on Switch 2? Oh! Stop coming up with the excuses, guys. Nobody's saying that graphics is more important than gameplay. Understand, as a retro gamer, I'm fully aware of this. I don't need people in the comments section explaining this type of crap, because I've seen it before. And I'm here to tell you, then what is the point of buying the next hardware? You guys claim, oh, like I had even a Nintendo fanboy tell me, oh, I don't care about Switch 2's graphics. You sure? Because you guys was bragging about that Cyberpunk and Street Fighter 6? You sure? You sure? Exactly. Like, please be quiet with all that. It's a part of it. You want to play bigger and better games. You want to play with good gameplay and have better graphics to complement. No different than the 360. Oh, I bought the 360 because it had good games. Yes, but the graphics and the gameplay and the resolution was also a part of that. Stop the cap, bro. That's the only thing that I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I don't care about what people think and all that, but you guys are so weird with this. Oh, it's not about the graphics. Well, then if it's not about them, stick with the PS5 then. If it's not about the graphics, stick with the Switch One. If it's not about the graphics, stick playing the Xbox One. Why are you buying an Xbox Series then? I mean, you're just playing enhanced versions of the same games you've already played. Why do you need a PS5? Why did you play God of War Ragnarok on PS5 over PS4? Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. Because it has better graphics and performance. Shut up.
I do think the first company that does have good optimized games and is under $300 is going to win the entire thing. If they start at $600, I hope they can eventually get it down to $400.
Why would they go to $300, bro? If anything, well, huh? Like, bro, come on. $300, bro. I'm telling you, it's more likely going to be around that $1,000 margin. That's why the Pro is priced up. You guys are like, games. So what are you talking about? They're raising. Listen, I'm gonna explain because y'all don't get this crap. Y'all just don't get it. They are raising the prices of the console to make the other one more appealing. You're like, that don't make sense, game, because y'all just listen to one thing and don't hear everything. That's the problem. That don't make sense, game. Why would they raise the price of the old hardware so people can buy the new one? Well, let me explain it to you, dummy. Why? Like, for example, if the Switch 1 is priced at $300 and they raise the OLED, right, to $400, then what do you think people are going to say when they go, the average quote-unquote consumer is going to say when they see it in stores? Oh, why would I buy Switch 1 for $400 OLED when I can buy Switch 2 for $100 more? Oh, you're right, Jimmy. Why would I pay $850 for a PS5 Pro when I can buy the PlayStation 6 for $1,000? You're like, oh, Snack Gamester. You're right. Exactly. So when you guys hear about Xbox raising the price, I can guarantee you, not justifying it. I want people to understand I'm not justifying price increase. I'm just saying the days of liquidated $99 GameCubes, those days, Nintendo Selects, those days is over, bro. Okay? What they're going to do, they're going to charge everything as a premium. If you don't buy day one, the price is only going to go up. The days of, oh, I'm going to get it later. Nope, those days ain't happening no more. They're like, dang, games, I see what you're saying. Because people that didn't buy these consoles early on, they got to deal with a higher price tag. Exactly. Okay, so if you don't buy these consoles at launch, so essentially they're kind of incentivizing and forcing their audience to buy these electronics early so they don't get a price increase later on. It's kind of sad, honestly. It really is kind of embarrassing. But it just shows you that they don't want to subsidize the hardware anymore. So what I'm saying, that when you see these price increases of these platforms, they're only doing it to gauge hype and interest with the other platform. So for example, like I've said it before, and I'm going to say it one more time, Why would anybody pick up a PS5 Pro for $850 if the PlayStation 6 out if it's $1,000 for the PS6? It's to help. I know it sounds stupid because you think it would be lower, but it's to help say, hey, why would you buy the PS5 Pro for $850 when you could pay $150 more to get the 6? Yeah, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Why would you pay $400 for the OLED when you pay $100 more for the Switch 2? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Which is also helping incentivize the hardware. See, bro, I'm so good at breaking things down. Throw my flowers on the floor again.
My fear is that whatever this next thing is, PS6 keenness is the handheld. Apparently the handheld is going to be cheaper. The big one's going to be more expensive. My fear...
Bro, if that's the handheld, then what makes you think the home... Bro. If that is the handheld, what... If that is the price of the PlayStation 6 handheld, then what would make you think that the PlayStation 6 home console wouldn't be $1,000 no different than Xbox? You just exposed yourself right here. Look, $550 to $700 for the PlayStation 6 Oreos, right? You got the PlayStation 6 Oreo. Okay, that's $550 to $700. Alluding of what it might cost. So what makes you think that the PS5 home console, or PS6 home console, would be less than this? If anything, it would be more. Home consoles have always cost more than portables. Gamesta, what another W. Let's go.
400. My fear is that whatever this next thing is, PS6 keenness is the handheld. Apparently the handheld is here.
So why would you assume that the PlayStation 6 would be $300? Unless you talk about the handheld, but that's not what you said. You said PlayStation 6. $300, $600, which we could clearly see that's more of the handheld that Sony has coming out, not their home console.
Be cheaper, the big one's going to be more expensive. My fear a little bit is, what if they announce that...
That's some Xbox ROG Ally prices right there.
Next PlayStation 6, and it is just more graphics. What if it is just more graphics, and honestly, hey, here's a $800 price tag. A $900 price tag.
$1,000 price tag.
It's a major factor going into next gen. And it does kind of frighten me, if I'm being honest. If we're getting...
But ain't you Mr. Support the devs? Ain't you Mr. Support the developers? Support the company? Ain't you that same person? And now all of a sudden you having a problem supporting these things?
Less good games.
Yeah.
More games that are going to be maybe $80 next gen. Like there's already obviously some $80 games out there. I'm afraid about what happens when the console itself is nearly $1,000 and every game is $100. I think.
Well, guess Game Pass Ultimate looking like a pretty good deal after all.
Not only would this tank sales, I do think it would very much hurt the hobby permanently.
No, it doesn't matter. That's not what these companies are thinking about, but it ain't going to hurt their pockets.
But these have just been some offense.
It's not going to hurt their pockets, man. And like I said, we're going to end this video right here at the end of the day. And like I've said before, I'm gonna say it one more time. And because you guys are just so ridiculous. And I'm going to say it right here. I'm going to say it one more time. Microsoft, Nintendo, and PlayStation do not care if you buy the next hardware. They do not care. If you're giving Sony money for PS4 and 5, that's all they care about. They don't care. You think they care? You think Nintendo cares if you can buy the Switch 2? You're still paying the money, dude, for the Switch 1. That's why I keep laughing at you. Oh, we boycotted Nintendo. We boycott. How you boycotting them buying the same games on the Switch 1 with lower performance, lower resolutions, and everything? That is your... Nintendo's looking at that as your loss, dummy. You're still giving us $60 for Pokemon Legends. Where you're boycotting us. You're still paying us to play online. And you still can't play GameCube games. You got less features. Y'all stupid. Y'all like, damn, GameStop, you're right. These companies don't care. They don't. Microsoft don't care either. They're like, we getting money from you guys regardless. You buy the game, okay. You boycott us this way, okay. We getting the money here, money there. Oh, Xbox fanboys got a problem with us? Well, we get money off the ponies then. You know? Not like we put a bit of arm in the leg for these Halo remastered games. Y'all getting played, man. Gaming is sad, bro. It really is, man. You know, but like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. at the end of the day, none of these companies care if you buy the hardware. So when you guys sit there and go on these little fanboy tantrums and talk about, oh, well, we got more hardware, so we'll understand that Nintendo doesn't care. Now, obviously, they care enough so you can be a part of the ecosystem, but I'm saying they don't care like you think. They don't care like you think. Because even if you, that's why when you guys complain about game keycard, you think Nintendo cares? They're like, no. So, and we don't care. You're still paying for us on Nintendo Switch 1. Oh, I'm buying the Switch 1 version to show Nintendo that I'm boycotting them. Well, that $60 goes directly. Y'all are stupid, bro. This is why I laugh. No, that's why these companies laugh at you. Because you guys think that you're boycotting. I'm boycotting Xbox because I'm buying their games on Play. Bro. See, this is the type of, hold on, I was going to end this video, but I gotta definitely chime in, right? I'm done with Xbox. I'm done. I'm trading it. I'm selling my account. I'm done. Oh, so where you going at, Jimmy? I'm going on PlayStation 5. Oh, really? Oh, what you buying on PS5? I'm buying a Halo, Gears of War. See it, why didn't you just stick with Xbox? Huh? Yeah, why'd you buy a PS5? For Xbox games when they far better on that. Yeah, I am getting tired of playing this Halo campaign now that you mentioned it. Yeah. Oh, I'm a pony. I'm going where the exclusives at. I'm going where the exclusive. I'm going to support Nintendo. I'm going where the exclusive at. Gets no GTA 6. Damn. I wish I could be playing that right now. Y'all are dumb, man. That's why I laugh at you fanboys, man. Every single one of y'all talking about you boycotting companies out here still supporting them. It's laughable. I'm not buying games through the Airbox PC. I'm buying them on Steam. Still giving Microsoft your money? You guys are ridiculous. I'm not buying them on Switch 2, so I'm buying them on Switch 1. You big dummy. Y'all ain't I'm not buying the PlayStation 6 at $1,000. I'm going to stick here on my PS5 and get a lower resolution, lower performing game of Intergalactic while still paying Sony $70 for each one of those installments and paying for PlayStation Plus. Y'all stupid. Y'all dumb. Take care.